let's just do it. Let's just do it live. Let's just start. I actually forgot to check if the audio's okay. Pardon. We're gonna be fixing that. Just hopefully. Yeah, it was definitely too quiet, as I see on OBS. So, pardon, apologies, etc., etc. We are back once again with this. Will I ever draw anything else ever again? Find out next time, I guess, because today we are doing this. Last time's been a pretty big improvement in terms of... Whoa, whoops. In terms of 3D space. Now, something I have realized is when I bring this over to my other monitor, the entire image is extremely washed out. Which I suppose we'll probably end up adjusting that at the very end. So something like add a clone layer, and then filter mask, and then probably, like, at the very least we are going to adjust either curves or straight up like color balance maybe. Could have something like this, right? And then we get like a full suit of suite. I'm not sure how to actually say that, but we get like a full control over what we want the shades of everything to be. So like I can control the shadows, I can control the midtones, I can control the highlights, and just make all of them lean a certain way. So like more yellow highlights, for example, and more like make everything orange. Make everything look like it's been ran for like 7,000 Instagram filters is effectively what this boils down to. So you can be looking forward to that. If you like, you know, let's say like we can do all this balance and stuff, but that's gonna be like the last thing I do for now. Like the color correction at the end, it kind of does feel like cheating in a way. I'll be honest about it. It feels like cheating because you know, it's like, oh, these are the colors, like what you see on your screen now is the colors I've been able to pick myself. And then color correction is kind of like, it does feel a little bit like throwing in the towel. Let's have this while I ramble. Color correction does feel a little bit like throwing in the towel and saying, it's like, oh, I guess I just can't adjust these colors. But then, like, if you want to adjust the final tone of everything and you got the colors mostly right relative to one another, then I don't have much of a problem throwing stuff over to the color correction and just adjusting it a little bit. I mean, it certainly results in a better looking final image, and then I can just compare the final image to what I drew myself, and then, you know, not take accountability, take notice of what differences there are, and based on that, I can, you know, learn. Actually, just struck me. No, don't stroke me, actually. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to check if there's audio. There's audio. We are Gucci on that front. So I guess we can get back into it. Plan for today, maybe adjust this waterfall a little bit further. I have rotated it last time. I might redraw it or do something with it, because I'm not quite... I feel like the waterfall doesn't mesh with the water, which is pretty bad. And also, you know, still might be debating whether this overlay is worth it or not. Like, just to make the water a little bit more blue. I just tint everything a little bit, which I'm not sure if I like. I kind of like both looks, but I think the original colors are a little bit better. So for now, let's continue with the original. And then the waterfall, we can start by perhaps trying to adjust it. Okay, let's first take a backup for emotional safety, as one does, you know. That's exactly what backups are for. I never go back to them. I just take them, just in case, you know. It's a good practice, I think. Okay, so let's bring this, yeah, bring this in this direction, so then it's a similar tone to that. And we probably make it brighter. Now, I don't want to take it out of the image, because that's what this kind of starts to feel like when I pull it completely bright. So maybe just keep this at, you know, desaturate a little bit. Yeah, like this, desaturate, and bring it into the same kind of line of shade of blue as the water below. And now we hit the curves, and on the curves we can just bring the lighter, like introduce a little more contrast to it, but not enough to completely overblow it. And I think this is an improvement. Now, I should probably fix the jaggedness of this after being rotated, but can I do that without having to redraw the whole thing? I think it doesn't matter. I can just redraw the whole thing if I have to. And I'm thinking maybe like introduce a little bit of this. So like some like vertical lines that actually like cut through the entire waterfall. So that looks a little less like a, you know, a very big solid blob, and more like flowing water that occasionally has a little hole in it. I think that'd help, and maybe I'll end up just straight up redrawing it, because this already looks better because it has these like little openings, so that makes a lot more sense, I think, from the perspective of what this should be. Like, we don't want to thin it out too hard, but this is an improvement, like, immediately. This big white blob, probably break it up a little bit. And then maybe I just, because I don't like the idea, I don't think I can fix all of this jaggedness in like a single go. So what I'm thinking is I just extract the palette. Okay, I don't have anything on top aside from the blurred waterfall, so I'm thinking I just extract the palette and go for another on top. So let's grab a gray, I guess, and then we extract all these colors. I might even adjust some of them while I'm at this. Okay, that's the, okay, now we need the darker blue on top of that. That's not very dark, actually. That seems like there's a little bit, like one shade is missing from this. Also, this shade should be slightly brighter, I think. Like, we have this brighter shade, and then we have the like almost white. And then it seems like there's one shade missing between these two, because these are very far apart. So maybe like introduce a middle of the road, kinda. Something like that. Okay, so maybe redraw these a little bit higher so they are like more spread out. There's no problem picking. Oops. So just that, and then this blob. That's our waterfall palette. Oh, we can actually take this and bring it into here, and then maybe drop the dark background on it. And does this fit? Like, this fits much more closely with this palette. I might actually even use some of these darker shades for the water down there, because that's gonna bring it together nicely. At least it should. From what I'm thinking, that's what's gonna happen. Is it gonna happen in reality? We will never know, probably. I also want to change these cliffs and like how they integrate with that tree. I think this looks bad, honestly. I don't exactly know what I want to do with it yet, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's have that on transparent, and we just do another one. So probably start with a couple of these. The waterfall is like the oldest part of this thing that hasn't been touched really at all. Maybe let's also That's not a guide though, that's the thing. So we just you know, improvise a little bit of this. Just make sure these are mostly vertical and they don't like really bend in one direction, which is easier said than done, but we'll give it an honest shot and then we'll correct if it's needed. Is kind of my view on it. And then we can stack like a bunch of this on top of that, like some overlapping, leave some holes in it as well, and we start adding the brighter colors, and that way this is gonna like start getting some presence, because contrast. Yeah, just maybe like also use some new areas with that. I'd say this is already looking nicer, but that is probably recency bias, so take it with a grain of salt, or like an entire salt mine. You could even. I think these like. Hello. I think these funny like U kind of patterns are better for looking like an actual waterfall. I didn't really do those. It was pretty random before, but now I'm kind of. It's like a little more intense water in certain places, and then we can introduce some similarity in how this is shaded, and then that hopefully looks good. Question mark, exclamation point. You know, you never know what exactly is going to happen. However, I mean, you do know what is going to happen actually with this stream. It's probably going to be autism, a rock butt, and potatoes. that is probably the collection of things that are going to happen. Okay. Let's maybe not overdo it. I'm kind of liking this. I just need to adjust, because like this, for example, is missing a lot of contrast. And then I would also like to punch a little bit punch some holes in the water, in the like falling water. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a much more. When I'm done with it, I think this is gonna be a much more natural like distribution of colors for the water stream, instead of just like, you know, random blobs. And I'll probably do the same with the blurred foreground. I think I'll just give it the same treatment, where the colors are gonna be bunched up more, like what I'm doing here. Because I think this looks better. It's just a little too intense. Like this dark blob needs to be gone, but in general, we just like add some of this darker stuff, maybe like in between, and then some of it I'll probably also just erase. Yeah, this darker stuff is what this needed a lot. And then just next to the darker stuff, we also cut some holes in it, so you can kind of see the background. Because I'm not doing transparency for stylistic reasons, therefore I'm just going with this instead. Which I think just because this, you know, it's a waterfall, so it's supposed to invoke like a fairly chaotic feeling. Like it's supposed to look organic and messy, and not like very organized. So it's kind of different from, because you know, random stripes are gonna feel disorganized, because, well, they are not organized in any way. They are random, but not quite the same. Like nature isn't random like that. Nature is a lot more like organized randomness. So it is like it's random, but it's according to some rules. So if you want to capture a more natural thing, you want to capture the effect of some of these rules in something that seems mostly random anyway. Or that's how I look at it. Okay, let's actually let's compare this. Is this better? Yes. Yes, it is significantly better. It is a whole mess, but I think I'll redo the same idea and I'll just clean it up in the second iteration, so I'm not too worried. Do you have the gay? Do you know the gay? I'll reliably inform you that I do not have the gay. It is a blessing. Thank you. We have truly escaped something horrible that could have happened. And yeah, no gay here, sorry. Or rather, thank you. Whatever you want to take from that, you take. I will not elaborate on the topic further, except for when it randomly crosses my mind at some point, and then I will, or I will not. It'll depend. I will not tell you what it depends on, though. Can't believe you are still doing this drawing. You said it was done like weeks ago. I said like I thought I got it in a decent state, yeah. But when I looked at it, I was like, okay, so my options from like this point is either accept this as the finished product, which I'm kind of still unhappy with, and just post it and maybe work on something else, or because I've already gone through all the hardest part of actually laying this all out and putting it in correct places and figuring out a lot of like different stuff and what I want and what the general tone is going to be, then I figured, hey, I can just take this and iterate on it further to get it to a place I'm actually I'm gonna be happy with, instead of just starting something new and dropping this, because I still have the motivation to work on this, so I still wanna actually improve it, and I have ideas still. And I'm changing bit by bit. I'm improving on it, and I'm learning a lot as well. And that's also something that kind of helps with this, is that because it's one thing I'm iterating on, and I'm comparing the versions like from the previous version to the next version, then one, it gives me a lot more confidence that I can fix certain things. So it gives me a lot more, it's like, okay, you know, there's something looks unsalvageable, I think this looks bad, whatever, and then maybe if I actually put in enough effort, well, now I have another bit of proof that, yeah, if you do put in the effort, it's gonna pay out, effectively, at the end of it. So that's one thing, and then the other is also like all the learning by just comparing, you know, I'm trying stuff, I'm comparing it, and because I have a solid base around it that I make like slow changes to, I can kind of contrast like the bits that are good with what's still wrong, and learn like that. So this has been a pretty good project, I'd say, so far. Learning has occurred. Pushing myself out of my comfort zone has definitely occurred, because I did not have that much of a plan starting out. I didn't know what this is gonna be. Certainly didn't know how long it's gonna take or anything, but it's proven to be an interesting experience to just kind of push forward and see where it takes me. So, you know. For all I know, I might just like finish this and then just immediately throw myself into another long-term drawing project. Because these streams also are pretty good to like unwind after a whole day of doing things and like stressing about whatever. Then I get to just ramble about nonsense, and either I have a topic and I talk about something, or I just ramble about whatever I'm doing on the screen, which works out anyway, because then, you know. And then there's also the nice factor of, you know, sometimes somebody shows up and says something nice, and that's also nice to see, you know. It's like, it's nice when you're doing something and you've got people show up and it's like, oh, you're doing a cool thing, you know? It's like, thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. Like, genuinely though. You know? Hashtag unironically, or whatever you have to say. So yeah, it's genuinely nice, and then it also satisfies the autism urge and perfectionism and etc etc. So like this is in fact like a packed sandwich, a packed sandwich of just full of things that I like, and therefore I just keep pushing through it, and it's cool. I'm hoping I'm hoping I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be able to get this to a point where I can really say I'm happy with this, really. Like, the last stream has been a big step up in terms of, for me personally, the feeling of this image, because when I moved, like, I moved this down, opened up a lot of space here, I moved this down to make it more aligned in 3D space with the rest of it, and it changed something about it changed how I feel about the scene a lot, because like, something was wrong for the longest time and I couldn't figure out why this feels off. And when I made these adjustments, I like moved things that haven't been moved since like the start. I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, this is it. This is it. We are truly expressing a 3D space through this one. So it's pretty good. Something nice, yeah, of course. Sometimes people come in and say something nice, and sometimes it's just a rock butt and potatoes, you know. And pronunciation. I can't forget the pronunciation errors. That's also something nice though. See, it's also educational. I learn English like this. This is actually the secret purpose, is instead of hiring a private teacher, I just mispronounce things on the internet and wait for people to correct me. This is kind of like a spin on that one law where if you want to get an accurate and fast answer to your question, instead of asking a question, go to some forum where people talk about the topic and then confidently state an incorrect opinion. And then you'll probably get more and more accurate and effort posts in response than if you were to actually just ask a question. It's like exploiting human psychology, you know? Is it ethical? Maybe. I don't know. But if I don't think about it, we can just consider it ethical by default. Huh? What do you think about that? This is my life hack, actually. I just don't think about things, and when I don't think about things, I get to do whatever I want. That's how life works. Parentheses. I'm not a lawyer. This is not financial advice. This is not ethical advice. You know, do as I do, not as I do, not as I say, or whatever. You probably shouldn't be doing any of that. Okay, fine. I think this is mostly just all right. I wanna have these like little additional vertical lines, so just to suggest that, you know, just give it a little more of a movement impression, but I should be drawing them the other way around, because when I start the stroke, it's thicker, and then when I finish it, it's thinner, so I want to be drawing it counterintuitively from the bottom up, and that way it has like the kind of raindrop shape, or like water droplet shape, where it's thicker on one end. Yeah, I think this is an improvement. I might retouch on it later, but like, look at how just like random blobs it used to be, and now it has a little bit of a structure to it. Like, is it turbo amazing? It's not quite turbo amazing, I'll give you that, but we'll get around to making it more in the turbo amazing direction. If not turbo amazing, just regular amazing, maybe. And now we can do the same treatment to the foreground, I think. Where we just grab... Also, I just remembered we can delete the old waterfall, I think. for free, and then grab this, and water looks good. Since last I saw it, it was blobbier. Yeah, I've changed a lot about how the water was. Like, this is the last expert, and if you mean the waterfall I've changed, like, from blobs to something approximating some kind of water. I think I'll have to, because this is like a sketch effectively, I'll have to clean it up a lot. Now that I kind of understand the waterfall, yeah. So I want to do the foreground here first, and then... So basically what I've changed about this is I do like these patterns where it's kind of like a U shape in the water, and that gives it a more natural appearance, or at least that's what I believe does most of the trick. And then also I layer the water in a little bit, like I add some holes in it as well. And then also I stack the darker colors. Like I do like sub-gradients kind of, where you've got the you've got the darker shade, and then it's kind of has a little gradient from the darker to lighter colors. I have a palette somewhere. Also, my voice for some reason has, I think, gone more deep. I don't know why. Maybe I'm becoming ill live on stream. Is this actually audible, or is it just a me problem? Maybe this is just a me problem. I don't know. Oh no, there's something going on here. Hold on. Tea? Tea to the rescue? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. Maybe I'm becoming ill live on stream. That's a brand new development for the me cinematic universe. There's the sketch. I'm failing at my art. You'll get there. You'll get there. It's just a matter of trying over and over until it works. And by no means do you have to consider that a sketch, because the real difference between what is a sketch and what is the finished product is just whether you intend to do something more with it or not. So it's like, for me, that's a sketch because I intend to clean it up. But if I wanted to leave it like that, then I probably wouldn't consider it a sketch. I'd probably just consider it finished. How long have you been drawing? Whole life or recent skill? I've been drawing since like 2017, probably. With like big breaks in between. I also, like, I never took any classes or anything. I also, like, I've watched maybe a couple tutorials at most in my entire, like, span of that, because I am very stubborn and I just refuse to do them. So this is definitely, it's not like I've been, you know, since childhood I've been drawing every day and blah blah blah. I am very much of the belief that it is something you can learn at pretty much any point in life. Although, of course, I would say that because I was able to like learn it to a decent degree, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt, or don't. I'm not your dad. But yeah, I think it's you might even have an easier time developing it as an adult than as a child, because you can just, unless, you know, depending on how you do things, but I've definitely learned a lot about learning on a kind of meta level in the meantime, so I'm having a lot, I am having an easier time teaching myself things because I understand them a lot better. So, you know, there's certainly a big factor in like learning this. I feel like I get much more out of the time I put into learning because I understand what I'm doing, and then I actually draw conscious, like I draw consciously. I draw information from what I do, as opposed to kind of going with the flow and learning subconsciously, where I don't really understand what and when I'm learning. So, you know, I draw often, learned as a child do this thing where I don't draw the same thing enough to improve. Like I draw people rarely, so I don't get much better. I mean, I guess it depends on your goals. Like what do you want to do? So for example, I don't really do characters well. I don't really have the I don't really have a lot of I don't have experience. I don't really have the ability. I can't like if you told me to design a character, I'd probably I'd completely stumble. And I don't do them often, but I don't really mind because I don't care about that too much. It's like I'm not. This is a hobby for me, so I don't stress about improving because I don't have to. Like there's nothing on the line. This is not a job. You know, nobody's paying me to improve on this. Nobody's waiting on any deadlines on me improving. So I get to do whatever I want. And it just so happens that whatever I want sometimes includes sticking by the same thing for 20 hours, which I guess is beneficial for learning. Like if you don't, like, I don't know, that's been something I've had in terms of things that I have had since a childhood and whatnot. It's like this, like maybe not childhood completely, but I've always had like a certain degree of being able to just focus on the thing and do it for a long time. But I think that like if you're interested in something, I think that's just human. Like that's just normal. If you actually develop an interest, then you can do it for a while because it just gives you energy to do it from the interest you have. So it's probably not even something that is like specific to me, really. Okay, let's leave the foreground like this for now. It's a little bit of a... Nah, let's not leave the foreground like this. I changed my mind. I can't be having this pattern. Because if I have like a very obvious pattern in the foreground, then it draws attention. And if it draws attention, then I don't have the proper... Like, I don't have it properly... Like, the attention isn't properly directed to where it should be. But instead, the viewer is asking, like, why is there a big blob on my screen to the left? And I want to avoid that, preferably. So, gotta, like, solidify this a little bit so that it doesn't quite look like that. Maybe just use lighter colors, actually, on this. Yeah, and then the pattern isn't quite as striking because there's not as much contrast, so I'm free to actually do a little bit of pattern on it and then not have it affect attention too much. I just trim that a little bit. And then the same with this, just add a little bit of lighter tones to that. Yeah, this is decent, I'd say. It's like, it's way more solid actually, I think, than it used to be. Yeah, it used to be more blobby and I think this is an improvement. Don't have to improve either, just feels good sometimes to know you're getting somewhere in a skill you like. I mean, sure, yeah, that's definitely a thing. I've like hit a point, at a certain point with at least, because I do a bunch of like black and white drawings, where it's literally just black and white, there's no shades of grey whatsoever, because I use the same pixelated brush, so that there's no shades at all, and I've gotten better at that, and I figured, like, I've gotten it to the point where I'm happy with what I'm doodling, and that was definitely a big step up in terms of having fun with the entire thing. Brother wanted to know if you're using a mouse or a pencil. This is a stylus. I've got an XP Pen Deco Mini 7. I have a box somewhere, hold on. Yeah, XP Pen Deco Mini 7. It's got, I would recommend it because it's got 8 buttons on the side of the tablet, which I found to be fairly helpful. Having a lot of buttons is just nice for just doing a lot of things quickly. So I've got save, I've got like undo, redo, I've got, what even is this? Oh, this is like a modifier key to like zoom, etc., and change size of brush. Then I've got switch to eraser. I've got like lock alpha. I've got mirror the canvas, and I also have like another button to show a radial menu on which I have 8 additional actions. So that means I basically don't have to use the keyboard whatsoever when I draw, which is very nice because previously I had a... Oh, and also all the 8 buttons are on one side. Okay, XP Pen Deco Mini 7. There you go. This is the model I'm using. So all the buttons are on one side. So basically my left hand is just, because I'm right-handed, so left hand it just goes on the buttons and like uses all of them. This is a cheap tablet as well. It's not expensive like in terms of devices. It's not literally the cheapest thing available, but for like as far as tablets go, that this one isn't particularly expensive because I don't exactly go for like top of the line gear. I'm not like swimming in money, you know. So yeah, left hand just presses all the 8 buttons, and then right hand is just for drawing, and then I can keep them, you know, in a steady position as I go, which is pretty nice to work with. Would recommend. Is this yeah, this is the palette. Okay. Let's do it again, but this time we make it a little less messy. Messy, like the football player, Lamau. Football referenced, football mentioned. Football fans everywhere, just having a lot of fun. Okay. Okay, so I just going to address the sketch situation. I might just pull this layer, this left side, I might pull from what I already drew because it looks kind of nice. The other one is very messy. Messy mentioned again. Unbelievable. Did some research and I can confirm Lego Fortnite is basically overcomplicated Minecraft. Fair enough. It looked interesting, at least from like the very brief glimpses of it I saw. So I don't know. You know what? Minecraft's a fun game, I guess. It's like that's legally allowed. You can have an overcomplicated Minecraft, which Minecraft is kind of turning into overcomplicated Minecraft. Hot take, maybe. Although there's been plenty of people saying that. I've noticed over time that Minecraft is kind of like a medium, and you know, if I'd like to, anything I'd like to create in Minecraft, I'd probably prefer to make in a different medium. Like if I want to make a 3D model of something, I'd go with Blender or like Blockbench to make it. I'd draw something rather. I'd like stuff like that instead of playing Minecraft and doing it in Minecraft. And a lot of the grind isn't just appealing to me because I don't have to grind in Krita to draw things. I just have the palette and I can just draw. I suppose I could play creative mode then, but then the creative mode doesn't quite have the same appeal to me, so I really just dropped off of Minecraft. There's an aspect of it that I do find kind of surprisingly fun, and that is like the speedrun aspect of it. It's a really fun game to try and speedrun. Because you get this whole sandbox and you get all these mechanics, and it's completely up to you as to how you of course you have like the routes and the meta and whatever, but you get to do a lot of thinking on the fly and like decision making and figuring out what to do and managing stressful situations that just come up randomly. And honestly, it's been a lot of fun. I've been kind of getting back to it because I've done a bunch of runs before, like nothing public or like I don't stream or anything, but like just for pure personal enjoyment, I've been doing a bunch and pretty fun. Would recommend. True, actually. Yeah, Minecraft is it's a very weird game. About that it being like a medium, it seems that a lot of the time you would, for like these massive projects and whatnot, it's almost you kind of have to have Minecraft as your job to actually do them. like you see all these YouTubers going for just absolutely insane scale things. Or like with Redstone, you get all these contraptions where in order to actually get it working, you have to debug for a certain amount of time, and you need a lot of external mods and tools to figure it out. And then it's like, I like that, but that's like a whole project. Like that's something like this drawing where I just spend 20 hours on it and I just keep drawing because I want to do that. But when I look at how much time this would consume, like stuff would consume in Minecraft, at some point I just figured I don't want to put all that time into this. I'd rather like program, I'd rather draw, I'd rather do all of these other things. Okay, hold on. Minecraft is actually a mechanically genius storytelling medium, more specifically SMPs where multiple people have their own POVs. Nobody records at once, you have multiple takes on one event. Oh yeah, that is, like, Minecraft is fairly... I mean, it is a sandbox game at the end of the day, so a lot of the things that kind of come out of the game are going to be what the players just decide to do with it. It's just that, you know, sometimes you might want to... Like, something you might realize is that you don't really want to do anything in Minecraft, and then part of the sandbox is what you watch other people do with the sandbox. It's very interesting in that way. Because it's like all the, even people that criticize Minecraft's design become part of Minecraft's design in a way. And it's always kind of been like this, because there's always been the aspect of Minecraft, well, always been, well, because I started playing very, very early. I like started playing probably alpha or beta. I think alpha, because I remember the food system being added. I was really young, but I remember that. So, like Minecraft for free.net or something like that. that kinds of stuff. So, this before, like, because now we've got the recipe book in the game, which you know, makes it so you can actually play the game without having to look up wikis. But it used to be that you'd have to just have a browser window open. And then you would just, there's no other way to find out the recipes than either trying different combinations in game, like, you know, remembering what you already know, and then, you know, you could look them up online, and that's it. So the game kind of by design encouraged creation of like various additional websites and tools and whatnot, just because the game was not designed to be kind of self-contained. You had a lot of and some people, like these days, some people, I've definitely seen it argue that it's like, oh, this is bad game design, and within the context of just the game, I think it's fairly easy to say, yeah, that's bad game design if you can't play the game without an external wiki. Effectively, you don't even know what you can do, and the game doesn't really go out of its way to present anything to you. But I honestly think if Minecraft wasn't designed in that way, I don't think it would be quite as big as it is today. Because I remember for a very long time in like Minecraft was a massive topic in like primary school and whatnot, of people just talking like what they did and what they discovered and how like things work and sharing different mechanics they found. And that is like an aspect of the game that just isn't present in, like, it's of course still present today, because it's still a sandbox and you got people sharing farms and whatnot, so it's not like they removed the aspect of the game completely or anything. But it's like, nowadays you can play Minecraft a lot more self-contained. Maybe it would have, I don't know, maybe this is like kind of just, you know, not believing that it could be different, but I think there's something to it where the game was very like mysterious and you didn't actually get it all explained, and it wasn't immediately like a solved game where you know everything, and it felt like there's always more to explore. And then, well, especially if you You know, if you play it while you are a child, then you are not aware of like limitations and constraints of game engines and computing. So you always feel like there could be more around every corner. So that also definitely adds to the wonder element of it. But yeah, I think there's merit to it. I think there's merit to part of the game being like outside of the game, and relying on like a sense community, etc., to actually discover and talk about things. Because I guess you can see that with many games that there are absolutely people who discuss it and like talk about strategies on it. So maybe it wasn't necessary, but I find it interesting if that like if that had an impact and how big of an impact it was. Because I do think that it's not zero. I think that it played a part, not a small part, of the history of like how Minecraft got popular either. I think that's like an important aspect of it. Same with old games. Things like Fez are so good. You mean the like aspect of the game having like a little bit more to it and discussing it, and you don't actually get all of it inside of the game. Yeah, if there's also something to there's also something to the barrier of entry, where if the game's a little less approachable to complete, you know, casual onlookers, then it kind of entices you to spend a little bit more time with the game before you start, before you start. It's like we it weeds out a little bit of the complete casual user base that is there just to like do something. I frankly think that Minecraft Bedrock has like the Minecraft Bedrock in terms of the kind of community around the game. It feels like it hardly exists. Like it seems that Minecraft Bedrock Edition is just disconnected from the rest of the player base in a way, where it's kind of sectioned into its own thing. And because like nobody, and if you look at what Bedrock is, like Bedrock Edition is like the modern version of Minecraft in all the implications that modern gaming carries with it. Are in Minecraft Bedrock, because you've got the microtransaction store, you know, you've got your emotes. Not kidding, there's emotes in that. You can like buy customization. I don't know if there's loot crates, but probably. Like you've got aggressive advertising in the main menu, etc. And then the game is a lot in terms of like mechanics. They've I don't know how to describe it, because it's certainly you've got a lot less control because you can't mod it as easily as Java. Java is extremely easy to mod these days. It used to be way more difficult, but now it's just a breeze. So you get to customize the game and mess with it however you want. You can easily install different versions. You can go back. That's not a thing in Bedrock, really. I think you might be able to do that somehow, but I don't know how. It's certainly not as easy as just selecting the version in the launcher. It's like all of that adds together to a very different approach to Minecraft, and then granted, there's also an element to it where I lost my train of thought. Bedrock is way easier to co-op play though. Just join a friend's world. Wait, can you do that? Oh yeah, you can, because it's friends, because it's always online. They only recently added the ability to pause the game because it was always hosting a server that's unpausable. But yeah, I think now on Java even there's a mod that effectively does that, where you can do exactly that, where you can just join friends' worlds and it sets up a connection over the internet for you. Because otherwise you do have to know a little bit about networking and stuff to set up a VPN between you and your friends to play on one thing, like the good old days of Hamachi, or what I use today is Zero Tier. In fact, the same idea under the hood is you set up a private network between the computers in question, and then you use that to play over LAN as if you were on one network in one house. It's like, if you know what you're doing, it's not too hard to set up, but then you do have to like debug firewall issues, and it's annoying. So it makes life easier for younger kids. Yeah, like that's definitely true. I remember there was always a problem when we were like in primary school, that nobody knew how to set up an actual Minecraft server because nobody understood networking or anything. Like these days, I don't have any issues because I'm a programmer by trade, and I just dabble in all this stuff pretty deeply, so I know exactly how it works and how to set it up. But then, you know, if somebody doesn't have this experience, then it's much less approachable. So there's definitely an argument for that, and it's more popular. But then all the other stuff that Bedrock does is just, like, there's a lot less. Bedrock is because I did play some Bedrock for this exact reason, because it's cross-platform, so you don't have to have PCs, you can have like mobile devices and Apple and whatever. But Bedrock feels horrendous to play, and one of the, like, honestly, the most basic reasons for why Bedrock feels so bad to play is that they force VSync to be on, which introduces input lag for your mouse. So then you can't aim like a normal person, and if you are used to playing on like any normal game without VSync, it feels horrible to just play Bedrock. And then they don't allow you to scale the UI down, so you basically are playing with mobile UI on PC, which means everything is massive for some reason. Input lag is insanely high, yeah. Bedrock Redstone is unusable. Quite frankly. Like, they've got movable block entities, and they've got the nice thing where you can make redstone go down glass, but not slabs. If you know, you know. But then everything else about redstone is just horrendous. Like, they just, it might as well not be in the game for how bad the system is. And then they have the brilliant idea to make it random, which means that you can't even test something if it works, because you might have just gotten lucky, or unlucky, I guess. So it just worked that couple times you tested it, and then it breaks later because something is random in it. So also, doors can be waterlogged on Bedrock Edition, which means you can't do the, like, water caves are just horrible to explore. Because on Java, you make a door, you put it in the water, and it just deletes the water, so you can stand in the water and breathe, which is a very Minecrafty. It's a very Minecrafty way of solving a problem, but it makes the water caves actually viable for gameplay. Meanwhile, on Bedrock, a waterlogged cave is effectively, oh, you just can't go here. I guess make a potion of fire resistance, but then to make that, you need blaze powder, and to loot a fortress, you need resources, because combat, like, nothing, the reach on enemies in Bedrock is scuffed. You can't, in Java, you can very predictably hit things and get away from other things. In Bedrock, it feels random. It probably isn't random, but it certainly feels like it. Friend just asked me to play a modded server. There you go. Minecraft time. Cheers. See ya. Thanks for sticking by. I'm gonna continue. Probably find another topic to rant about than Minecraft Bedrock. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just unleash my hatred of Minecraft Bedrock onto this stream just forever. Because that version pisses me off in so many different ways. Like, can you imagine being Minecraft and then deciding you need emotes in your game? And microtransactions. I talked about this already, but I'm still mad. It's like, why does Minecraft need microtransactions? I mean, I know why. Don't answer that question. But, you know, why does Minecraft need microtransactions? Like, why? Why do you have to be like that? I mean, the answer is Microsoft, but I'm still mad, okay? I'm mad about the Bedrock Edition. What if we... kind of yellow. What if the grass was greener or maybe more yellow? Yeah, orange grass. How about that? Purple. Not orange, but I'm thinking just a little bit more towards yellow, and it'll fit a little better. But the grass isn't even like a primary concern of this, because the primary concern is that this looks bad, and the reason it looks bad. Also, this is an improvement, so we're keeping it. I might actually. Honestly, if I shift the rest of the colors to like more yellow and it just works, then I might actually keep it. But hello? Are we? Oh, wrong button. This one. I'm thinking maybe all this needs is just a hue shift towards more like yellow. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Immediately, the color looks a lot better. Is this the same? Oh yeah, it is the same. Yeah, that is definitely an improvement. The green was sticking out like a sore thumb. What if the water and sky were red and it was raining blood that stained all the grass red and killed the trees? Cool idea, gotta say, cool idea. I've kind of done that on accident at one point, where what if it gives them the orange grass from Ori and the Blind Forest? Okay, I see how it is. You're gonna make fun of my orange grass, huh? Well, you're gonna type the grass isn't orange, huh? You got a point, but this is not orange. It's just a different shade of green. So I think I can mount a sensible defense on this. I did like on accident I turned the entire image like blue and then the water red, so it looked like blood. It's in one of the streams. I did that kind of on accident. It looked cool, but it doesn't fit what I'm going for for this, so we're not doing it with this. That doesn't mean we are never gonna do anything like it, you know? It might happen later. Like, check this out. Like, immediately, if this isn't, like, atrociously green, it looks a lot better. To the point where I'm almost willing to keep this. I think I'll do something about this, like, vertical thing, as it looks weird. But other than that, it looks pretty cool, I've gotta say. You can also go to the back draw. I think this is the back draw. Structures. No, structures are fine, but we can presumably grab this like green and also shift it towards yellow. Boom. Not intense enough of a shift. We're shifting it harder. Yeah, all the way here maybe. Yeah, I think that's better. And then probably this green as well. We can keep this green in the foreground, I think. I think the green in the foreground can keep a little bit more of that green in it. But then all the other things we're gonna adjust. So like grab these colors. I'm on the wrong layer, am I not? I am on the wrong layer, haha. Obviously. Okay, so I just grab this and shift it as well. But if I'm gonna shift this, I probably need to like darken it as well, because it is kind of in the shade, like the whole thing. So probably, yeah, that's a big improvement. It doesn't like stick out. Shift me harder, Zaddy. No. We've had enough shifting, damn it. We are retiring the whole idea of shifting. We'll never shift anything ever again. I mean, this is a fact check false like immediately, but why not go to the utmost extreme of whatever idea you're talking about? It's more fun this way. Okay, so like that is also wrong. Nice. Okay, so that is a big improvement. Now, what do I do about this like ugly blob thing? because it is ugly. I'm thinking maybe, ooh, I could extend that so it's more like this, and then have a little pool on top of it, and then in that pool, like from that pool, have something spill down here. Okay, yeah, we figured it out. That's a respectable idea for this. I'm not taking a backup. I don't like this, so I'm fine with it just being modified. So we do something like this, then it's more green, I guess, on top. Like now it looks like a house, which is not exactly what I want to go for, but if I just do something like this, it shouldn't stick out quite as hard. Yeah, there you go. Now this looks much more like a plausible cliff than what I had before. Me odd degeneracy told shut it down now. Yes. We are not degeneracy, not allowed, except for when it's accidental. And even then it's not allowed. It's just not allowed at all. And not doing degeneracy. There's enough of that on the internet. We don't need to add to it. Shut it down indeed. We are shutting it down. Shut down the program. It's not shutting down. Gordon. You slammed that crystal a little bit too hard in there, and now it's not shutting down. How could you do this, Gordon Freeman? It's, you know, Half-Life is a... Oops, I accidentally degeneracied. Unfortunate. Enjoy prison. Okay. How are we feeling about this like little blob of water on top of that? Because I like it. I like it, but I just need to cover it up with like some grass sticking out, and I think we're good. El Bozo type beat. Shut up. No way. This is an El Bozo type beat. This looks great. I will take no slander. El Bozo type. I should have expected that, to be fair. I should have been prepared. I see Waterbutt has joined the party. Yeah, I'm not doing myself any favors, am I? Not going great for me. Maybe it was an El Bozo type beat after all. Maybe the real El Bozo type beat was the friends we accidentally destroyed along the way. No, not that. Definitely not that. Yeah, I'm liking this cliff a lot more, but it still needs something. I'm not sure what that something is, but maybe just a little bit of like dirt on top, but maybe not make it look like a giant like not quite as blobby, but you get the point maybe. It's balding. Whoops. I accidentally made the top of the cliff bald. Yeah, that's okay-ish, maybe. You can certainly tell the lack of confidence in that statement. Maybe the real El Bozo type beat where the friends we degeneracied along the way. Something like that. What a wonderful statement. I sure am glad I enabled it to happen. Yeah, something like this. And we could maybe even have a little bit of water. Now, the problem is this is all in one layer, which, granted, my bad, I could have done it differently. However, you have to consider that we have too many layers as is. So maybe this was not too bad of an idea. Now I kind of like the grassy look of these. Now that I changed the color, it's far less offensive. Hashtag brand new sentence. Yeah, we are trademarking this one. Actually, no, and anybody that wants it can have it. I'm not trademarking any of that. You will not hear from my lawyer. In fact, I am retiring my lawyer as we speak. We'll after that sentence, we will never have any other sentence ever again. Lawyer fired. Goodbye. Headed here first. Doing this, maybe? No, we are not doing that. Scratch that. Purge the record. Never happened. Never was even attempted. Okay, that. Just cut that off a little bit so it's like more natural looking, maybe? Question mark. Retiring your lawyer, unlucky. Why are you about to sue? Yeah, are we gonna be hit with a cease and desist or something? Like, stop working on this. It's been enough. You've spent enough time. I'm not allowed to place another line on the canvas. Drop the pen. Drop the stylus. Drop it now. Where are the trees? This is like on top of the tree. Maybe I just erase. No, I can't. Let's overlay that on top. Where are the lanky trees? Over there. They don't fit anything at all. Like, this is just noise. I don't like adding noise. So we're not gonna be adding noise, and instead we are just gonna camouflage the tree a little bit better by adding little bits of grass in front of it. You catch my grass. If you catch my grass, now that is an idea. Okay, so like, just, you know, blend this a little bit better with the grass. Is that necessary? Probably not. Will I still do it? Yes. Of course. What did you expect? We could maybe add like little blobs to pretend to be mushrooms in the background. I like that idea. Just gotta find what layer to put this on. This one. We could have like little mushroom. Except this is I forgot to adjust it. Because like these need to be, you know, in the background where I'm actually drawing them. So we can't be having like directly ripped colors from the previous location. And then we maybe just grab a little bit of a darker shade. He said, while making the light instead of darker. Good work. Okay, and then we just add a little bit of that underneath some of them. You know, very simple detail on top, but I think it's gonna do. I think that it's gonna do a little bit like a nice improvement in overall cohesion of the image. So I think like even something as simple as that just adds a little something to that place. You know, there's a little bit of a couple mushrooms, just little mushrooms. Innocent looking mushrooms. They've never committed a crime, probably. You know, the probability of your mushrooms committing a crime is low, but never zero. The G is silent in background. Background? Background? Stupid. Why did they put it there if it's silent, huh? Bloody English. Or if it's like, oh yeah, we'll add this letter, but it'll actually do nothing. LOL. Thanks, English. Very cool. Whatever you say, I guess. Okay, let's... no, that's not the correct layer. This is the correct layer. I wanted to adjust this ever since I like looked at it again after exporting. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah, just a little bit, and then probably also this adjustment, and then also reduce the amount of like rim light on the rock, because I don't want the rock to be, you know, literally glowing. Not the intention. It's just intended to have a little subtle rim light around it, so it actually like stands out from the layer behind it. So a very thin rim light does the job still, without being quite as overbearing. So just, we just simplify a little bit. That's the whole point. And then since this is the foreground, we can spare a little additional precision in the definition of these elements. Something like this, sure. Hit that. Nah, this is good. Nah. Alright, that's decent. Now, do I want to add a little bit more variety to the greenery in the foreground, or do I just want to keep it grass? I kind of want to do something with it. Like, there's a little flatter plane here with like, and there's this little flatter bits. There's some flatter bits over there. I'd like something maybe here to be a little different. So like maybe we could just introduce some differently shaped plants to this. I don't really have a good idea for what I want them to look like, but it's presumably something like this, where we just have like no, just a tad different. There's something that actually has a little bit of shape to it. G being silent is practically speaking, not technically. A facet, a lazy pronunciation. Alright. Fair enough. Background. I kind of like pronouncing it background. With like the little break in the... I kind of like that. I might just... Because surely I can, you know, I can opt into the more... like more effortful, I guess, pronunciation. I can surely I can just opt into that and nobody's gonna like be mad, right? That's like, nobody's mad about people pronouncing things with more effort. Surely it would be like the opposite would get people mad. Not that like, you know, like surely people don't bat an eye. Okay. Look. Like these look a little goofy, but I think if you mask them with little bits of like tiny grass, they just introduce a little bit of a pattern to... Yeah, they just introduce a little bit of a pattern without being too overbearing, so I think it's an overall improvement to have them. And the rock. Now they're gonna add the thing about the rock to the description that they added last time, because I said the rock. And we all know this can only mean one thing. That's right. There's only one rock in the entire universe, on the entire planet. And he's been mentioned, he's been summoned. Let's add some like taller grass as well to this. Because I don't want the grass to feel like it's all just completely like one size and nicely trimmed. So I think just adding little longer bits of it over certain things is gonna help. Because that's what you have normally, and then also like different types will add those in a little bit. Like you know, that just a little additional variety goes a long way on this, I think. And then just want to make sure this doesn't actually collide with what's in the, like with the character there. Although we can't be having this being like behind him, so we might actually... I think this is gonna add a lot if I just add another layer on top of just layer some grass in front of him, so that it looks a little more believable. I just a touch of grass. Yeah, there you go. That looks nice. Just a little bit of additional detail, you know, that goes a long way if you're looking at it. I think I overdid it, maybe even. I might get rid of this actually, because this is just a like mess on the border. And I only really want these like little, yeah, I forgot what they are called, like these like sticks with brown balls on top. And then I also want to reduce the amount of clutter I just added by a little bit. This rock's probably mostly fine. We can get rid of some of that and then reintroduce it a little bit. Not too much though. This is like I painted it with too thick of a brush, and now it looks a little overwhelming on this, so just gotta keep that in mind. Okay, let's say that, and then we have like a little bit of grass on there, and then with a thinner brush we could maybe have that, and then have it maybe catch some light above a certain point. Something like this. Then continue the pattern over here where this is like darker grass. Then layer some like lighter grass on top of the darker glass. Glass? Ah yes, sure, the glass. Gooding indeed. We're still on it. Can you spot the difference? Does it matter in the slightest? Have we changed anything that is actually noticeable? You'd never believe it. You might actually be able to. There's been some decently big changes. Although you would have to probably remember what it looked like before. So, good luck, I guess. Yeah, just adding like these. These what? These nuts. Lol. That was uncalled for, sorry. Just on lunch, might get out early since there's fuck all to do. Everybody's just thinking about it. It's like, yeah, it's Christmas time. We're getting out. Nobody cares. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. That's what I'd expect anyway. At like this time of year. Okay, like this is just to blend it a little better with the water. Is it a good idea? I'm not quite sure. I like this. I like the idea of this being more like moss or like completely different, darker type of plant. I don't like this being the same color though. Cancel that. Next today's a holiday anyway. Can't actually prep the line to run. Well, so you're just there like decoratively. You're just decorating the place until something gets to actually happen. I'm off early myself. Congratulations. Merry Christmas. You've been released from the work. You can now, I don't know, play washing machine fixing simulator on your personal computer. Hurry up and wait, exactly, something like that. Okay, what do I do with this? Because I like this idea. This needs like a color between these two. Darker. Something like this. Yeah, something like this is probably decent. Then we can just expand a little bit. You see the idea. Maybe. I just introduce like a little bit of like darker patches to this, of like this funky moss-y question mark something. Like mossy ground. All in the interest of just breaking up the endless sea of vertical brush strokes that this used to be. Spent the first 2 hours cleaning the roof-ish. Not shit into piles, have no route to remove it. I don't know, I don't think I remember what you actually do, so that doesn't quite track with anything. I'll be honest. Sorry. Boop, boop, de boop. Oh, I like this connecting with the grass under the rock as well. A little bit. And then it's closer to the waterfall as well, so that also blends nicely. We can expand this rock a little bit vertically. I maybe should have put it on another layer, like a separate layer for just this rock, but we deal with what we have. So like this. Make fiberglass asphalt laminate roofing shingles. The cheap shit. Alright. I'm guessing not too many people doing like roofing on Christmas. So it's like a fairly weird time of year to be doing roofing. In general, it does sound like winter is like I guess if you work in like Texas or whatever, there's not really winter as we know it over here, where it's cold and there's problems with that. So I guess it makes sense that you would still have business. And then there's probably construction that happens in winter regardless, because it just needs to get done ASAP. Okay, this rock is now more pronounced. Is it even visible if I enable this? Not this. This? Oh yeah, this rock is actually one of the things that stays visible pretty much. So keeping that. Okay, just a tad of this, tad of that. But, you know, little bits of detail overall. I like the idea that this is kind of like where the rocks are, so it blends with the moss as well. I might make this moss a little brighter, or maybe desaturate it a little bit. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's select it. This and this, please, and these. Okay, and then this as well, and we just desaturate and brighten it a little bit. What's the difference? Maybe just a little bit more, but a little less desaturation on it. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, that's better, because it used to be a little too stand-outy. Add some yellow for lichen. Like a desaturated yellow-green. I like that, We'll be doing that. No problem with roofing in winter? Alright, I've got no clue about construction, so... Contractors buy all their supplies in winter, so the plant runs hard year-round filling orders. Alright, gotcha. Understandable. I'm not well-versed in construction type beat. Alright. Yellow for lichen, you say? So like, something like... I should probably look up lichen. This is almost green. You liken the lichen? Yeah. Lichen, let's see. Let's find out. Lichen. Okay. Oh, like intense yellow. Intense yellow, almost orange. That seems like this goes on trees mostly, right? Like that's what I'm seeing at least. I guess that also shows up on the rocks as well. Okay, so we could... There's a no construction. Elborzoi. Yeah, absolutely. We could have like little bits of little bits like we could use this excuse to break this up into more colors actually. Like this is fairly intense, but like less saturated, and then slightly towards orange, and then we get to Elborzoi. We get to maybe add like a little bit of variety in the colors. So like, whoops. Deselect this, please. Oh, I guess I accidentally touched the canvas a little bit and now it's over. It's so over. Okay, so like something like this maybe on the rock. How are you feeling about this like color for the what's it called? For the lichen? Because I'm thinking this might be nice. Now I will probably need to at this point split this into layers because I don't want to be drawing on the rocks and that be affecting the grass. But like, yeah, the additional grass details should be just on top, so I'm probably gonna get rid of them. And isn't lichen light gray / green? I found some that's intensely yellow, although it might not make any sense because maybe that's when there's a lot of pollution in the air, which wouldn't be the case here. So I just like the additional color in the rocks. This is why I use multiple layers. Okay, but treat what I actually currently have as a kind of draft, and then it works because it's easier to draft on one layer, and then you know it has its upsides, it has its downsides. Different types, like Old Man's Beard. Yeah, so Old Man's, I assume that's a name of one of them. That's probably like gray, right? Surely. Oh, this is like the, okay. So this is like hanging. We could do I don't really have like good terrain, or I could, I guess, do something with these on the trees, but and add a little bit of hanging things on this, especially this one. That could work, because that's like the only place I see where I could have like a decent bit of something hanging, unless I added maybe the tree, like the fallen tree somewhere in here, added it back. Lichen colors, let's see. Yeah, there's like yellows, there's some reds, there's oranges. You've got like dark, almost like dark gray, you've got dark blue. It likes to grow on branches. Yeah, so this is probably where the lichen could go, and then these rocks, I do kind of like these rocks having a little bit of a like something on them that's different, that's a different color, although I'm not seeing really any examples of I guess this like yellowy, orange is probably too far, but yellow is probably decent. A likely excuse, yeah. Okay, let's what do I do with this? I think what I do with this is just erase. Oh, this is all one layer. This is like completely everything's one layer. Okay, maybe that was a mistake. I should have added like the random garbage. I should have added it to added that on a separate layer. That would be a lot easier to deal with. I wouldn't have the problem I'm having now. Just gotta break up that spot of just one color. Do I go for the lichen on this in particular? I'm not certain. I think this might honestly just have enough color as is. Especially with that part, maybe on here it's worth trying, but on that part it's gonna be covered up by the water. So then, not sure if it makes a lot of sense to actually add anything on top, or like behind it rather, not on top. But I could be convinced on this. I might convince myself to do it if I keep thinking. Because then these rocks become a little more interesting when they have that. Okay, you know what, if I'm on the quest to just remove all this overlapping grass and just add it to another layer, then might as well actually pull the trigger fully instead of half committing. So just do that, do this, paint over those. Yeah, just removing all of this. and then we'll re-add it in the form of something else. I like this darker shade for like parts of this rock as well. Maybe even made it stand out too much with that. Oh, this shade would be better probably. Yeah, that's darker, but not quite as darker, as much darker. It's like this shade, and then we grab the very dark shade and we like fill it in on this space, like we fill the very dark. And then we erase, no, we don't erase, we like introduce some of this green into here. Yeah, so then the space between the rocks is properly darkened. And then we just use the same layer as we already have for some like overlapping grass and whatnot, so that it doesn't like intrude, one bit of it doesn't intrude on another. Just a little bit. Yeah, just something like that, where we just have like little bits of grass. And I think that's fine. Alright, I'll leave that. Lichen is the spice of the forest ground cover, makes things interesting. Okay, you know what? That's it. I'm going with this idea. Let's try and figure something out with these colors. I do like the additional like coloring it introduces. So I'm going to not care too much about like realistic things. I'm going to do this more because it just looks better. And we can maybe grab a darker shade of it and then use the darker shade on like different parts. Now, is this gonna end up looking better is another question, but I remain hopeful for now. You can probably we can probably mix some of this with what we can probably mix some of this on the ground as well. I think this is gonna like introduce a nice bit of texturing on top of what we already have. I think this is gonna end up to being a benefit. You just have to be kind of careful with where I place it, so it's not too messy. You see the messy mentioned again. Football fans represent, or like soccer, depending on what you prefer. Huh. Okay, now the question is, do I keep this? Is this an improvement? Let's compare to the previous expert actually. Yeah, I'd say this needs a little bit of additional texture. I'd say this benefits from more texturing. Because it no longer is just a flat blob. Now we actually have a little bit of a... Have you tried a spray can effect instead of a brush to add some RNG to blotches of lichen? I'm stubborn. I'm drawing this by hand. Not expert, export. Did I say, if I said expert, that's entirely on accident. I did not even intend to butcher English like that. I didn't even notice that I said that. That was completely incidental. Okay, let's maybe try that. Oh yeah. Okay, then we just have it mix a little bit in this space and there as well. I'm gonna iterate on this so much it's gonna turn into autumn with all these colors like oranges and yellows I'm adding. Choose the exports. Yeah, choose the exports indeed. Nice. Okay, and then on these in the back, we can maybe just add a little bit of like this darker shade and care less about different mixing different colors and such on it. Just a tad of like additional yellow, and then also a little bit of like orange. That's too saturated, like orangey brown. Just a little bit. Happy little splotches of darkness. It sounds menacing when I say it like that. Okay, no, yeah, something. And then like a really dark, I guess, in there as well. So just to sell the illusion a little bit more. I think I like this additional texture. It's going to iterate on it so much, it's gonna be a completely different scene when you're done. I mean, it is already fairly different from what the first scene was. But I'm not planning on doing like super gigantic the painting of Theseus. Something like that. I'm not planning on doing a lot of like gigantic sweeping changes anymore. All I'm doing now is not I'm not doing any like, oh, let's completely flip the entire thing upside down. I'm very much iterating on the same ideas. Like even now I didn't like I was thinking about completely redoing some of this, but it turned out like no, it just needs a little bit of an improvement and then it looks okay. Okay, so I'm thinking we are actually nearing like the end of this thing. And we can, you know, I'm just adding like little bits of this on the ground as well, so just to connect these rocks a little bit, and then maybe like little bits mixed in there as well, like some here too. And I think this introduces a nice like variety to all this, to all these little like bits of terrain. Yeah, this is a big improvement in terms of the foreground. I think I went... You must construct additional lichens. I've overcooked, as the kids say, on this one though. Like this needs to be... I need to bring it back a little bit. Just to reduce the amount of lichen. I watch one too many YouTube videos and I'm thinking of terms such as overcooked. I find it funny how cooked is used both as a positive and as a negative thing, where you can say like he's cooking, but then you also say he's cooked, and he's cooking means positive, and then he's you know, then the other one is negative, or like he's cooked is negative. Which I guess makes sense if you are getting cooked versus you are cooking, now that I think about it. So disregard this point. It was pointless. Lichen likes cracks and crevices. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a good tip. And then I can like put this somewhere where like the different parts of the rock transition between one another, and then that helps. I am the one who cooks. Is it? I do wonder, is all that like he's cooked and he's cooking and whatnot and let him cook, is that all just a reference to Breaking Bad? Is everybody just joking about like everybody's referencing making meth? Nah. Is that what's happening? You know? Let him cook? Helldivers 2? No way. Yes, it is. There's no way. Like Helldivers 2 came out after cooking has been widely popular and used. So yeah, I think this is literally just Breaking Bad. So everybody's just talking about meth all the time. We truly live in a wonderful timeline. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Okay, something like this is kind of bad. This is really pretty. Thank you. Appreciate it. Something like this, something like this. And I kind of like where it's on these rocks, where it is. I kind of like that. Maybe just cracks and crevices, you know, so just a little bit here. Just a splash. And then we overlay this on top. Just to blend these like weird blobs I've painted. Blend them a little bit, just add some grass blades and that'll cover them up just fine. Just boop. I think we are entering the time where I should start thinking about stopping the stream because I'm starting to spout incoherent sounds randomly. This is probably a good sign that we are in the final moments. I mean, let him cook was something that would get said to say, let the dude keep doing what he's doing since I was a kid. The phrase was definitely been in use. Maybe it's just a case of something coming back and like Breaking Bad is kind of incidental. It's like it maybe triggered that coming back. You know, because people were thinking about cooking and then somebody like started noticing that phrase being used and then from that you get like a resurgence. Maybe it's a case of that. Maybe that's why we are cooking now. This looks horrible. Undo. Thank you. I do like that though. That adds a little bit of shape to this. This is the correct button. Okay. I like this foreground now. We got a lot more texture and the grass is way less random and way less samey. Look at how bad this used to be. Wow. So much better. The waterfall as well is an improvement. Far less blobby and looks much more like an actual waterfall. Then the foreground we can bring back. Then this and this. And that's why it's desaturated probably, because we have these beams that overlay the entire background and like tint it. So we'll probably have to correct it in post. It's also Donut Operator's new cooking show, Let Him Cook. I mean, that's surely after the fact. He took the meme and he made a show named after the meme. Okay. Okay, so let's... I like what I've done to this foreground. This is kind of bad. Hold on. Yo, hello. Welcome to the stream. We are cooking, and we are also talking about cooking at the same time as we are cooking. So it's a very meta kind of business at the moment. But like this is approaching something that I could consider done, maybe even. Well, it's not done yet, but approaching. Which, you know, if you are familiar with what approaching means in mathematics, then we are gonna be here for a while. However, we can add a clone layer and a filter mask. Trying to be mod on every channel I'm sub to. Well, unlucky. You should unsubscribe. I don't need moderators. Whoa. That's crazy. This is an interesting experiment to see like how well your values are in the image. It's like if you turn it to this mode and it still looks comprehensible, then I guess you've done something correctly. All right, let's try and adjust the tone. I don't know if this even needs a tone adjustment. What if I just bump the saturation and contrast on this? Saturation is certainly not the way to go about it, but like curves. Where do I have it? Color adjustment? There we go. Yeah, he really needs help keeping track of all 5 of us. Yeah, absolutely. I am overwhelmed by the amount of people. Look at this. This is already like an improvement. Let's compare. Yeah, just a little bit more on the like contrast and saturation, and we are probably gonna be golden. So like maybe drop the, yeah, something like this. Well, this is not, this is too, I'm overcooking, as the kids say. It's like brighten that. No, okay, some of the colors start looking unnatural, so I've overdone it. But like, this is very, very nice. We can bring the whole thing a little bit down. Maybe like introduce another point. So this kind of controls the contrast between the light beams and the rest of the scene. So I probably want to darken it a little bit. And brighten this a tad and then bring this down. No, I don't want this to be dark, so this up. This is completely off of intuition, so I don't even have any idea how I would describe what I'm doing currently and why I'm making the decisions I'm making. But do feedback if you have any feedback. I'd gladly take feedback on what I'm just doing to this image. Whoa, we could make this like full HD. That's too much contrast, but I do kind of like it because just brings more colors to the actual image. This is overdone, but only slightly though. Please, opinion, somebody. Any ideas? Any ideas? Any thoughts? Brighten. Keep that bright as well. Something, okay, I overdid something. My feedback is I'm almost home and burritos are Q vehicle for eating beans. A vehicle, I assume. That is a good opinion, thank you. I think indeed. However, I can't say I'm a big fan of beans. My body rejects the like texture of beans. It just refuses to cooperate with beans. Like it feels wrong to eat beans. Like it's a texture of something that isn't meant to be eaten. It's like eating sand, but like sand, but you put the sand in a blender and you make a smoothie, and that's what beans feel like to eat. And I just can't quite come to terms with beans due to that. Okay, I feel like I've had this better. Okay, so this is like controlling the very shadows. Like how dark do I want the shadows to be? Just about this dark, probably. The beans in a burrito are refried, basically mush. Good drawing. I was hoping for something more specific. What are your thoughts on killer beans? Now that is the real question. I don't think I've watched like a devlog of the Killer Bean video game, and I've watched like select scenes from Killer Bean through like memes. But what a somebody had a dream, and that dream consisted almost entirely of beans. And then he followed the dream to its natural conclusion, which is making a bean movie and then a bean video game. And you know what? I think that is beautiful. I think we need more people who just don't let the beams be dreams. What if I just disable this and then it looks exactly the same as it looked before and I just have gone full circle? Okay, let's apply that. I guess I've basically just bumped the contrast and saturation as I wanted. So yeah, that's certainly an improvement. Okay, one layer is missing from this, which is the glow around Ori. Where is it? In the foreground folder, I think. Yeah, this one, where he like glows a little bit. Can make him glow a little bit more. Okay. Gotta go, lunch is over. Alright. Have a nice one. Thanks for sticking by. Man, this is gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ego inflation and explosion is in order very soon. Alright. I think I overcooked on the filter. Let's adjust this further. I'm still not satisfied. Oh, I can just make the curves window bigger, and then that becomes much easier to actually control, like fine tune. So okay, so don't wanna. The foreground is now kind of blending together. It's like I need the shadows on the foreground. I need them to be a little less intense. Let's see. Okay, then like we could completely decimate the actual like detail by doing that, but I don't quite want to. So like just a tad darker on these. Like this is basically color correction. I might literally be done with this, which is something I so far regretted saying every single time, because then I want to adjust it further, but I've kind of run out of ideas on what I like, if I'd like to actually add anything to it. I think we are doing pretty good. Okay, what was that before? Oh yeah, that was too dark. Now we kind of brightened it up again. Okay. Okay. You know what? Let's sit with this for a little bit. Wind down and figure out if I want to actually, if I want to add anything to it effectively. Sorry, leaning back, I'm gonna sound like I'm at the other end of the room. Damn. Okay, actually let's check. How much time has this taken so far? Let's see. 23 hours and 40 minutes, so not beating my like 5 hours of doing stuff remaining to like get to the amount of time my longest project I've ever done took. I'd say this is pretty good. I'd say this is pretty good. I didn't really see. Oh wait. What if we saturated the water a little bit? Do I have the overlay on the water? Because it just struck me that the water, like the rest of the image, I've bumped up the contrast and the saturation, but the water is kind of like desaturated even. I'd say let's see. Can we just slap a saturation filter on this, or maybe like curves adjustment, like just something like this? Just give it that extra something, extra color. Is this a reverse speedrun? Kind of, I guess. It kind of ended up like that. We are trying to beat the longest project I've ever done. Although that one, I mean, it's like, it was 28 hours of work. Whoops. Then I like that's exactly what happened. I did the sketch for it, and then that went through a lot of iterations, and then I put a lot of time into kind of trying and like actually rendering it out. That took a couple iterations because I had no idea what I'm doing. I'm definitely now I've gotten faster and more decisive at doing and at just trying things. So I think this is a trend that's probably going to continue. I'm just going to get better at decision making effectively while I do these. Number of hours of work seems arbitrary. Why is the number of hours relevant? Are you happy with it or no? It's not really relevant in terms of quality of the image, because the quality of the image is just I don't know, it's just something that I remark on for whatever reason. I'm just, you know what? if nothing else, it is a little bit of bragging that it's been a lot of effort, you know. Oh yeah, lichen. Lichen was I was supposed to put lichen on this tree. That's something I was supposed to do, so we'll probably do that. Look at how much, like, this is a tiny thing, but I think this is a big improvement on this, and I just kind of did it. So let's apply this in more places. A remark on the fact that you are a giant autist for whatever reason. This is a valid remark. I accept this remark. This is, you know, one day I'll like slip and fall into some psychologist and I'm actually gonna get evaluated on accident, and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, we didn't know you were autistic. And I was like, really? Except nobody's gonna say that because everybody's like, nah, yeah, we kind of knew the whole time. There's obvious. Oh, I know why this is wrong. I'm picking colors from the, not from the original, from the overlaid version. That's why this looks weird. It's alright. Just adding, just making these a little more realistic is what I'm doing with that. By realistic, I mean just changing how these ends work is just very little effort for a very nice effect. So I think it's worth it to just spend a little time on decorating the edges of these cliffs. This is overdone though. Arrived home to my wife giving my baby a bath while the Rubber Ducky song was playing. Fantastic. Isn't that the life goals? Is the Rubber Ducky also from VeggieTales? Does it include hatred towards IRS agents? It better do. Do balls taste? What a wonderful question. I wouldn't know because I never ate any. Huh? I think I dodged that fairly well. I detected the trick in the question. I got out of the way of the moving train. So no, sorry, but no answer for the balls question on the stream currently. Very sorry. You'll have to get your balls needs fulfilled somewhere else. Edge case found. What did he mean by this? But like, actually, I genuinely don't know. Well, the edge case of somebody not eating balls or what? This is a no balls eating allowed stream. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Am I overcooking? Maybe. It might be the case. It might be happening. Rubber Ducky song from Sesame Street. I'm uncultured. I don't know anything. Edge case of not avoiding balls. What do you mean by that? This is slander. I would be contacting my lawyer, but earlier I said I fired him and he's not coming back. So, unfortunately, I guess I'll just have to live with the slander. Sure, let's try and add lichen to this. What do you think of this? Because I'm liking this immediately, so... Just, you know, just a touch. Because I was feeling for a while that this tree was needing something additional. So this works fairly well. Also fits with the slightly swampy theme. You know what? There's another place that could also use some lichen, and it's these. I think this is gonna benefit from a little bit. You lichen this immediately? Yeah, exactly. Nice one. Good find, good find. I didn't notice at all. I should have. Because that was comedy gold right there, and I just didn't take it. Hell yeah, free detailing. I love free detailing. Okay, that's overdone, but overall, pretty good. Make the tree pregnant? What do you mean, just like add this at the bottom? Yet another case of what the hell did he mean by this? But like really. You're just spouting things and hoping I come up with what they actually mean. I see how it is. I see how it is. Okay, let's put, I know, darker. Like this is, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, because this is perfect for these kinds of, like something is, you know, a wooden structure near the water. Makes perfect sense for it to have like little bits of green hanging around. It's basically free to add because it's super simple. This is a brain rot controlling me. You gotta resist the temptation a little bit better than that. Come on. Okay, darken it up. Too dark. You don't wanna overshadow anything. And look at that. That's very nice. Absolutely. Yeah, that. This is the man who suggested the lichen random. You are the real MVP of this stream. Come up with exactly what this needed. Oh wow, I actually will need to go to bed soon because I might literally fall over. Like my head is feeling funky. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I am gonna be ill. Maybe the jokes before about falling ill live on stream are actually real, and I was falling ill the whole time. Yeah, something. Oh yeah. That's what I wanted the whole time. I need to go to bed soon. You can't quote me on that. That's unfair. I have no defense against my own words. I will not stand by that. Just kidding. I've been dying for the past 2 weeks, so it's your turn now. It might happen. Would be wonderful for Christmas. You know, just all I want for Christmas is like a fever and to feel like shit the entire time. As I believe a popular song goes, something like that. Is this overcooking? Opinions? Am I overcooking by like adding moss and stuff to this? Because I kind of wanted to do this the whole time, but never did. So I'm wondering if I'm now just trying to chase the idea, but shouldn't. But I kind of like it though. So I think I'm going to keep this. Yeah. Whoops. The lichen is necessary in the huts. You mean the, like what I'm doing right now? You know what? I kind of agree. I'm overcooking. We aren't. What is lichen? Lichen is like the funny stuff that goes on trees and looks funny, and it adds details to the tree. Yeah, you know what? This hut can like stand alright, and then only the wood gets a little bit of lichen. I think that's a good compromise for this. And then this tree is kind of like overgrown with it as well, so that adds a lot of nice detail. Lichen is a type of moss. I didn't even know that. It makes sense, I guess. I would never, like, I don't really associate, in my head, it doesn't really associate in the same realm as moss for some reason. Why are you using fancy words for Morse? Because it's a type, like it's a specific type. We're gonna use precise language. Oh, no. Wow, I'm failing to select. What? Failing to select this very hard. Am I on the wrong layer? What layer is this on? Oh, that's just those lily pads. Never mind. I remember why I did that. These. Move. Yes. And then we lasso select that. Move. And this. It turns... because lichen isn't Morse, it turns out words mean things. What? Shocking reveal! The whole time, words had meaning? Never knew this. This is blending in with the hair on my character. I gotta fix that. Remember what I said? Two things. When I said I'm probably going to bed soon, and I also said this is probably almost done. We're not looking good on either of those, boss. I'll be honest. Although we are looking good on the going to bed one. Because my sanity is rapidly dwindling. So just what am I drawing on? Huh. I have something on top of this for some reason. Erase. Erase that as well. Go back to this. Sure. That's better. A little artificial with how this is shaped to fit the character, but I think I can get away with that, and maybe just cover it up with a little bit of moss as well, just to avoid the arbitrariness accusations. All right, anything else I want to add to this? Let's re-enable the no, not this layer. Oh, this thing. I kind of like it still. This is like the hardest decision I have to make, like whether to keep this fallen tree or not. But it like doesn't make geometrical sense there. Like if it was like laying down here maybe or something, it would make any amount of sense, but as is, I just have to get rid of it. We added more variety with the lichen and whatnot in the foreground, so I'm not afraid of getting rid of that. This is like a different color than the rest of the tree. Like something's wrong with it. Let's fix that real quick. It's like overlay. This is the tree layer, so we just grab that. A little bit of this. Add a little bit of texture to it, I suppose. So it doesn't look like it's completely out of place. There we go, now it only looks a little bit out of place instead of completely. And then we grab this and make a hole in it on accident. Yeah, something like this. Nice. Anything else? My middle mouse button apparently just refuses to work. Okay, just needed to alt tab out and back in. Okay, enable light rays again, and enable the color correction on top. Wow, this is laggy. Yeah, it just makes everything look nicer. Let me flip this over to the other monitor. Now it looks less desaturated. Slightly less desaturated, that is, but it makes all the difference. You know what? We might ray traced DM. You know what? We might well just leave it here. I'm thinking I might just, this might just be it. I don't recall even I don't even recall any other things I would like to do with this. Trying to remember if there's anything. I don't think so. Actually, I found this blob and it bothered me. I don't think there's gonna be any more changes, he said, knowing full well that there's most definitely gonna be changes. You need blood pulling from your gut. This is where he dies after saving Ori. Wow, that's some like deep lore, visual storytelling and such. It's kind of a cool idea. It goes against the vibe that I was going for, but it is a cool idea. I don't want to do it though. This is the layer I'm looking for. Go away. Yeah, just this. Whoa, wrong color. Yeah. Okay, fine. Need to draw lay epic action scene. Maybe I've done a lay epic action scene before. That's happened. It is on record. Okay, where do we? What would blood look like? No, that's not. Just like, ooh, I'm so dead. Excessive amounts of blood. Ooh, something like that. That doesn't fit the image at all. Not this one? Oh, different drawing. Yeah. My brain's broken. I'm not even gonna be able to comprehend. Okay. You know what? Let me inspect this on the setting where I can kinda approximate. I can kinda approximately take a look at it with a fresh pair of eyes, you know? Something like this, where it's just completely different, and I can actually see how different it is. I think the nice angle. You know, you might be joking, but looking at it from like this perspective actually allows me to see. Get rotated, idiot. Exactly. Looking at it from a perspective like this allows me to actually kind of look at the image a little more objectively, because you know, when you've been staring at something for like 20 something hours and just adjusting little bits of it over and over again, you get very used to how things look. So something like this is a nice change of pace, so I can actually kind of comprehend what the hell I'm looking at. And I think it's pretty good. It's got depth, you know, it's got decent color choices, it's got detail to a reasonable extent. Yeah. This might just be it. This might just be it. Unless I come up with something else to like add to it or change, but I don't really have many ideas. So, doesn't have titties. What was I saying about degeneracy like a long time ago? Alright. Anyways. So, thank you very much for sticking by me as I slowly or maybe even rapidly lose my mind throughout this entire process. This is probably not the last drawing stream ever. I'll probably draw again at some point. It's probably gonna happen. I probably won't be able to stop myself, and I'm also not able to stop myself from talking, so these two things combined make, you know, drawing streams happen. So, in conclusion, cool, nice, We did it. Maybe. Maybe I'll come up with something else tomorrow when I wake up and I'm not like unconscious. So once again, thank you very much for sticking by, chatting with me, entertaining my whatever I'm doing. And see you next time. Bye.